Hey, what's up guys, Bajheera here. Now for this video, we're going to be taking a look at Albion Online, which is a game that I think a lot of you are going to enjoy, and a game that I had a whole lot of fun playing. First things first, huge shoutouts to Sandbox Interactive for sponsoring this video. I think Albion Online is a super fun game, and I really appreciate a sponsored opportunity to try it out for myself, and also to share some gameplay with my viewers, so thanks again for that. What I'm going to do in this video is show you guys my first experiences with Albion Online and some early gameplay, just so that you guys understand a little bit about this game, because Albion is a game that is unlike anything I've ever played before, but definitely shares some of those classic MMO concepts that I am familiar with. So upon starting up Albion Online, it seems like you wash up ashore, no clothes on, in the snow, and your first objectives are to learn how to gather resources. Now there's not like a standard tutorial in the game, but what there is a series of quests that acquaints you with what you're going to be doing for probably a lot of the game, which is farming for materials, gathering resources, and then using the crafting mechanics to make, items for yourself that's going to either allow you to be a more effective gatherer, be a more effective crafter, or of course make yourself gear to be more effective in combat. So that's what you're looking at right now. This is my really first chance to harvest some resources, craft these resources into items that I can use, all the while gaining experience on my character. Now we'll take a look at this later on. The talent tree in this game is insane, but that gives you some idea of the way the character progression is going to work. In my understanding, your character doesn't really have a standard experience bar where certain activities contribute to one experience bar. It really is more of a matter of getting good at doing particular things, but your character does start as a blank slate in that sense. So for me, I tend to like to play the warrior class, so I'm going to be focused on making plate gear, making melee weaponry, and things of that nature. So I'm going to need to collect like leather, I'm going to need to collect stone and ore in order to craft the gear that I want to make. But in doing so, in collecting that ore, I'm going to become a better miner. In collecting more, skinning materials, I'm going to become a better skinner and a better leather worker to make the items that I need. So you'll see me here farming some copper ore. But of course, in order to farm copper ore, you need to be a certain level of miner in order to do that, and you need a certain level of equipment to do that, but you need to have a certain level of being able to use equipment to even use the equipment that you need to farm the copper. So as I'm listing these requirements and as they cross over, I understand that it sounds a little bit complicated. However, when you play the game, it actually is a very natural progression in which you get better at doing the things that you want to do. And in order to be a fully fleshed out character in that line of work, you just need to put some time in. Now you have tons of room for creativity and customization in terms of creating the character that you want, but for me, the example that I'm giving is, I want to be a blacksmith, leather worker, warrior type, melee combat damage character, so I'm going to need to work on my farming and crafting of the materials that I need to craft the weaponry and tools that I need. And by farming those materials, I get better at farming. By crafting the weapons and tools that I need, I get better at crafting. And of course, by using the weapons and tools that I've crafted, I get better at battling. I become more combat proficient, I become more weapon skill proficient, and I become more tool use proficient. So the progression in the game is really much less about one character experience bar where you attain a new level, you get a new talent or skill point, and you allocate it where you want it. It's really a lot more about you doing the things that you want to do with your character, you making your character get better at doing the things that you want, and having that be the character progression. By the way, what you're seeing now is I just knocked out one of the world quests that's available. Even though a lot of the progression is going to be based around you farming, crafting, killing things, there are also quests that you can do along the world that will give you extra resources, maybe even extra items and things like that. And the basic flow of the game for me that I've done is I go out and explore, harvest resources, do some quests, and then I bring my very over-encumbered character back to craft new items and to make use of the new skills that I've gotten out on the road. So what you're seeing now is I'm equipping the next stage of sword that I've used, which comes complete with new skills that are available. So you'll notice that the skills that your character has are really based around the equipment that you're using. So in the beginning, I didn't pick the warrior class, and that's why I'm making the equipment that I have now. I decided that I want my character to be a warrior, so I'm deciding to craft him and make him get good at crafting warrior gear. And thus, the gear that I craft gives me skills that are useful to a warrior. Now, if you wanted to be a mage, you would probably craft cloth gear, which would give you more magical attacks. And I'm sure within that gear set there are also different kinds of magical attacks, different elements and things like that. Similarly, you could be a leather wearer, which gives you access to what I imagine would be bow skills, dagger skills, things like that. So once again, you have tremendous room for creativity with your character, but it does seem like you would be favored by choosing to specialize in a few different skill sets rather than trying to get good at everything, because that is going to take a lot of experience. And once again, I've mentioned the crafting system a lot and how you need to get better at crafting in order to make better weapons for yourself. So what you're seeing me do here is level up my crafting by using my materials that I've farmed to craft a bunch of swords, which gives me weapon crafting experience, and then I'm running to the salvage yard to break down the swords that I've made to reclaim a bit of the resources that I used to make more. And fortunately, I have just enough to hit that next level up, and now I'm taking a look at some of the things that are in my future if I decide to continue crafting. But this is the talent tree that I was talking about. And it's not really a talent tree where you necessarily decide, okay, I'm going to put points here and here and here, and just go from there. You have a path that you can take, and the path takes work. I do believe that there are, like, little crafting or knowledge points that you can use. That you can see each little node that I click on says cost to learn, and then it will take a certain amount of knowledge points to learn that. But I haven't decided to use any of those yet. I'm still plenty early in the game, and I figure that I would probably be better off saving my points for more expensive and more difficult nodes to achieve. But there is a lot of room to specialize your character for different weapons, different like weapon skills, different crafting skills, tons of stuff. But this can be intimidating, but for me, this is just exciting, because I love character customization. I love being able to make your character into what you want it to be, and I love having a bunch of different paths, a bunch of different ways to create that. Another cool thing about this system is that basically doing anything in the game makes you better at that sort of thing. So even if you're just running around, you chop a tree down randomly, that made you just a little bit better at chopping down trees, and that goes with your character and stays with you. What I'm doing here is I'm testing out a little dungeon that's available in the game. This is probably just one of the first ones, just a little solo dungeon, and you can run these to get what seems like just a little bit of extra cash money, and of course, level up your killing things skills. So you'll notice in the top right corner of my screen, I have a lot of quests, and you can definitely sort some of these out, because I'm not interested in doing all of these. I don't necessarily want to craft, you know, cloth gear. That's not what I'm interested in my character doing. But I am interested in having him get better at using melee weaponry so that I can equip and make use of better equipment as I go. Because, of course, if I continue to craft, I'll be able to craft better weaponry, but in order to use it, I just need to be a better fighter. So that's what we're working on here. Plus, I'm using my new skills that I got by using my new weaponry. So if you can't tell, Albion Online is a game that, even just from my first look, I can tell a lot of people are going to enjoy this, including me. I've had a blast playing this game, and in terms of the way I envision it being played, much like other MMOs or other games in general, I think this game will be a whole lot of fun with friends, especially once you get into something that I haven't showed you in this video, which is PvP. Now, I'm pretty early into the game, and I don't think it introduces you to PvP unless you decide to flag yourself for PvP in low-level areas until a little bit later on in the game. However, from what I've seen from watching some PvP videos on YouTube, is that this game's PvP system looks insanely fun, solo or with the group. Now, one of the things to keep in mind about PvP is that if you decide to flag yourself for PvP and you end up dying, people can take your money, they can take your gear, so you need to be ready to PvP if you're going to deflag yourself for it. And that's one of the reasons I think people play with groups, is that it allows them to stay a little bit safer, but also benefit from the spoils of war a little bit more. But if you like that hardcore PvP environment, I think Albion is a game that you're definitely going to want to try out. I'll have some links in the description for you to check out Albion Online and to pick up some Founders Packs. The game is in its final beta at the moment, so if you pick up Founders Packs now, you're going to get some sweet bonuses not only for the beta, but also some cool stuff when the game actually launches as well. I've had an absolute blast playing Albion, and I am so grateful that Sandbox Interactive sponsored this video and gave me a chance to check it out and share some gameplay with you guys as well. If you like that Sandbox MMO, farming heavy, crafting heavy, hardcore PvP environment style of game, definitely check out Albion Online. I think you'll love it, and I definitely look forward to playing more of this game in the future. That is going to bring us to the end of the video, guys, so thank you so much for watching. Check out the links in the description, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!